About a week ago, I spent over 100 quid on Lidl fishing gear. Now, in my last video, I reviewed all the tackle and tested it for about 12 hours on a small farm pond, and to be honest, the gear held up pretty well, but all the carp were quite small. So in this video, I'm going to fish for another 12-hour session on a match pool with some much bigger carp, basically to see what this tackle can stand up to. So I've just arrived at the lake, as you can see behind me, and yeah, I think it's the perfect place to test out this gear. It's a little match pool in the middle of a business park, and there's a decent stock of carp, the average size being around low doubles, I'd say around 10 pounds. But there's also a couple bigger ones, including one fish, which is kind of just scraped the 30-pound mark, so there's a few better ones in here. I've already seen them cruising around, I've seen them feeding on the bottom, had a little walk around, and to be honest, first swim, that screamed carp, this reed line right next to the car park, and I've seen carp feeding there, so it's looking decent. Right, I think the first rod I'm going to get set up is the feeder rod. Right, so I have done a rundown of all my rods in the previous Lidl video, if you want to check that out, but I still want to do a quick summary of what these are and what I think of them. So this is the feeder rod. We've got, I think, a size 4000 reel on there. It's actually quite decent, I quite like this reel. It's quite nicely built considering how cheap it is. I've got probably some 10-pound line on there. I haven't got any free spool, but it is a feeder reel, so shouldn't really. And then we've got a telescopic rod, which will just extend like this. It's quite a long one, and that is the entire rod, I think about 10 foot long. As you can see, they do have a nice little red tip, but unfortunately it is a bit thick to be a feeder rod, so if you're getting some slightly more subtle bites, you may not properly notice them. Right, the second rod we're going to be testing out today is the carp rod, which I've already rigged up since I was using it on my last really short session whilst testing it out, but hopefully today we're going to get something a little bit bigger, because I just spooked what looks like a decent carp in the margins. So this is the reel. It's actually quite nice. It's got a little bait runner, got some probably 10-12 pound line, decent drag on it, quick folding handle. And now, to be honest, for the price, this reel's actually quite nice, but I'm not particularly impressed with the rod. They've literally made it 12 foot long. So for like fishing, little like easy match pools like this, it's not particularly good. 12 foot rods are really just for casting extremely fast, so I'm not impressed with the design, to be honest, but otherwise it's actually not that bad. But I've seen carp feeding, so I really want to get my rods out now. They're feeding, which is right here. Probably one of the most expensive buy alarms out there. And use that. Right, a carp just swelled right on that. Oh, it's literally going. So she's feeding just about a metre away from there. Oh my days, that's such a good sign. Instantly. What? That was mad. That was a matter of seconds. I beat up fish in here, that's for sure, but it's a start. Literally dropped that in the exact same spot as before. We are off the mark. With a lovely little common. To be honest, none of the fish in here are pristine, but it's just nice to get off the mark of something on the little gear. And that was in the first literal minute, so yeah, it's actually pretty cool. That's quite big, actually. So, come on. Oh, he's got definitely some mouth there. Oh my days, I didn't even have my camera on. I just saw one tails down. I thought that's probably gonna do a bite in a couple of minutes. Oh my days. Oh my days, it's a fully scaled mirror. 2 carp in a net at once here. In a sec. Yes. Tiny little common. Oh my days, ready? First fish of the bunch is this beautiful little common, 10 pounds I'd say. Not nice, this fish has got a bit of mouth damage, but quite pristine for the standards of this lake, so I'm actually quite pleased with it. Unfortunately, this fully is not as pristine as I thought it was. When I saw it in the water, I was like, my god, this is a nice fish. And to be fair, it is quite a nice one. It's got some really nice dark scales, kind of different patterned scales. But yeah, it's quite beat up. Its dorsal's ripped up. All of its fins are slightly beat up. Its mouth is quite damaged. Let's get him back. There she goes. Holy crap. That was a bite. I think I might have hooked on slightly better ones now. It's a nice looking lure, to be fair. That's actually a nice fish. Actually got nice scales. Right, well the second of the two carp unfortunately escaped. So this is the first one. Sweet. Oh my days, finally. Oh my days, finally. I don't know what I was doing wrong all that time. They just weren't taking it. That's crazy. Yes. Oh my days, that took so long. They're still taking off the surface as well. Is it that dark one? It's that hybrid, I think. No. Oh my days. Oh, he's all the way over there. Come on. Come on. Oh, it came off. Hook pulled. I think. No, hook pulled, yeah. No. Instantly afterwards. Instantly afterwards. Where is he? He's there, he's there. Oh my days. Oh, he's tangled. Now, to be honest, it's not a particularly pretty fish or a big one. So it's just going to go straight back. I've already held up enough commas and mirrors to the camera. Wow, I just missed an opportunity from the ghosty. But I've gone and hooked another one. It's actually mental. So also linear, the dark linear. It's a dark linear. And there we have a beautiful little linear, scrape a double if that, but it is, yeah, a really nice looking fish. Really happy with this. Right, moving off the surface on a slow sinking bread. Missed the ghosty, I thought I had to just chuck it back and just hope, and yeah, it took it. This side's even nicer. You'd come here thinking these match pools are full of nothing but ugly fish, but sometimes you can find a few little gems like this. But yeah, with that said, my 12 hours came to an end. So now we're going to talk about the pros and cons and just what I think of these rods and all the gear in general. So first and foremost, can they last 24 hours? 100% yes. They definitely can. They can definitely last a lot longer. And yeah, they actually held up pretty well. Can they catch carp, and decent ones at that? 100%. Although I think if you're fishing maybe a snaggier venue or a venue with much stronger carp, it's probably quite risky and debatable whether you should be using these pieces of tackle, as on the light line you can quite easily get cut off. But other than that, for, you know, starting out on little match pools and stuff, you can definitely catch fish on them. Now to the last and probably most important question, are they worth it? So if I'm being honest, yes and no. For the price, they are decent pieces of tackle, but to be honest, you can get stuff online which is probably better for the same price, or maybe 5-10 quid more expensive. So in my personal opinion, if you want to really get into stuff and maybe, you know, you're willing to put a bit more research, going online and stuff, it's probably a better idea just to get out there, but go online, do some research and actually find some stuff that, you know, maybe is a bit higher quality. I think there's still decent stuff. I mean, This bag, for instance, is actually going to be so helpful when I do some more surface fishing later in the year. And I'd actually kind of recommend this, although to be honest, I think they stopped selling the stuff in Lidl as I think it only goes on for a week, and that week is over. But if you are maybe going into Lidl next year when the stuff comes back out, definitely worth getting. With the lure rod, I would not say it's worth getting, as if you're going to use it for lure fishing and stuff, the action is not great. The line is really thin, it's also mono, so if you're trying to go for pike, zander, even perch and trout, I mean, you want to fill those bites, so using a really stiff rod with bad action, it's probably not going to be worth it. As for the feeder rod, it works, you can catch carp on it, but the tip is not very sensitive. If you're going to be going for maybe tench, bream, silvers, you can't really see that rod tip whack around as well as on, you know, a proper feeder tip. So I think, again, not really worth the money. I think you can find better stuff secondhand on eBay and stuff. Now the last one's a carp rod, and to be honest, this one, it's okay. I think the reel's definitely worth the money, but the rod, not so much. It is literally 12 foot, and most people who are going to be using this are going to be using it on the venues where you have to maybe cast 20 meters max. So I think it's probably not worth it. So effectively, the moral of the story is, the gear works, you can catch fish on it, you know, it lasts for more than 24 hours, but is it really worth it? It's debatable, yes and no, because you can 100% find gear that's better and probably for the same price online. But with that said, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and tell me in the comments if I should make more challenges just like this one.